Hi everyone, my name is Tuan Nguyen. I'm a product manager in the product organization here at UiPath. Today what I wanted to do is walk you through the new attended framework that we've created. So the new attended framework will allow you to implement best practices in the attended use case field and allow you to basically create a rich, delightful experience for your end users. So you see here, I've taken the take a screenshot automation, which allows you to take a screenshot and optionally send it to a colleague, save it locally, and save it to your clipboard. I'll go ahead and run the automation. So once the automation starts, you'll see that a form appears in the very beginning, providing the name of the automation description, a link to the user guide, as well as any inputs that the automation requires. On the upper left-hand corner, what also begins is a status window, which you can use to update and send messages to the end user. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is save a screenshot to my local folder. I'm going to save it to my desktop here, and then I'm going to go ahead and press submit. Once the process begins, you'll see that the automation now has updated the status window. I'm going to go ahead and press Control-Q to enter snippet mode. I'm going to take a screenshot of this little guy, and the process is now completed. At the end of the process, you're going to get a results form that's going to appear telling the user that the automation has completed, as long as any additional text that you want to send to the end user. If the automation has outputs, you can link the output folder so that it opens up for the end user. And then you can also repeat the process. You'll notice that if you repeat the process and you had a successful execution, then your inputs from the previous execution will go ahead and auto-populate inside that form at runtime. So I press submit this time. This time what I'm going to go ahead and do is, instead of having a successful execution, I'm going to go ahead and throw an error. So when I press Control-Q, I won't select an area, and that will actually throw an error for my automation. So now that error is going to be handled by the attended framework. As you can see here, the form that appears now is a different form from previously. Notifies the user that an error has occurred with some information that they can then email to their support staff or anyone they would like. Here you go. When they press email error, they're going to use the default email client to go ahead and draft that email. Here they can repeat the process again, or they can go ahead and close the automation. A couple of key things that the attended framework also provides you. From the assistant, once you publish the automation, you have the capability to hide those status window messages on the upper left-hand corner. We can hide the input form at runtime. So if you want to use your previously selected input, you can check this box here, and then the automation will go ahead and use the previous selections. It will skip the form at runtime and go straight into the process. Additionally, if we want to hide the final form at the very end, you can check this box, and then that will be skipped as well. So if you have an automation that's very quick and you know that you want to use the same inputs every single time, you can check all three of these. The automation will jump directly into the process, and it won't prompt the user for any inputs or anything else that they need to interact with. Last but not least, if you run your process in pip, I actually have a pip window open right here. The attended framework is created so that your process will actually run in pip, but any forms and any messages will appear in your foreground. So as you can see, the form is now appearing in the main session. When I click submit to start the process, I'm going to actually take a screenshot in the pip session. So as you can see here, the messages in the status window are also appearing in the foreground. If I click in here and I press Control-Q, you can see that my cursor has changed, but when I move it outside of the pip window, it will go back into a normal cursor. So I'm going to go back into pip, take a screenshot, and then that final form will actually appear in the foreground as well. This allows you to basically create an attended process, run all the logic in your pip session, but display anything that the user needs to interact with in the foreground. And that's a quick run through of the runtime experience for the Attended Framework. We have another video with a deep dive on the framework itself for technical audiences and RPA developers that are interested. We're really looking forward to you working with you to experience the Attended Framework and see what you can use it for.